Mm-hmm.
I do like to see the summoner spells coming out of the Kog'Maw and Yuumi lane, the good old, so that way he's able to have the cleanse that prevents like the bubble trap cheese.
Mm-hmm.
I do think they'd be able to survive. I just can't imagine them not being pushed in because like I just don't see them having lane priority.
Mm.
Like
You
I
see what I
think
mean?
Kog'Maw might be able to get farm, but basically like the whole bot side of the map should be Olaf's basically because Seraphine should be out pushing Lulu. I'm pretty sure after the wave clear nerfs. I could be wrong on that, but I'm just assuming that Seraphine has more wave clear than Lulu, because Lulu was specifically nerfed for that to supposedly not happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then Caitlyn Nami should just be pushing in this lane all game long. And it just really depends on if they can zone and deny enough farm. Let's get a timer check, Ito.
53, 54, 55, 56, 57.
Yeah, I'm a little ahead of you again.
Okay, let me speed it up. 103, 104, 105,
Dead even.
106. Nice.
Cool, cool. So interesting.
Yumi Hella says that they banned Karma. I don't think Karma was banned. No, maybe since they saw me pick the Seraphine, they wanted to can't match it. Karma was open. Yeah, Karma was open.
Oh, actually, Karma instead of Yuumi would have been pretty crazy. Or
Yeah,
even actually Karma mid lane and then Lulu support would have been nice too.
yeah. And
Oh,
we've already seen Karma picked. I think twice. I think we just saw Karma earlier today. So Karma should it definitely should be fresh in people's mind as a champion that we've been seeing more.
the Enchantress. So we're so used to the tank top. But what about Enchantress mid?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just like so interested in this game. It's so hard for me to like pick a side and anything like that.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm just
I
like
don't think we even have the bets. Hold up, let me get the bets going real quick. We'll have a really
interesting
quick betting
drafts.
session. Real quick betting session. I'll open this one for like 5 minutes. Just the game has already started.
We're gonna see Ivern start heading towards the top lane. I'm wondering if he's going for a gank here or if he's just kind of here to cover.
You have a question in
The
the
lane
chat
isn't
for
a
you,
really
by
good
the way.
state for him to go. For me?
Hmm. Question for Indefiance. Any world where you would get a Serpent's Fang on Olaf?
Um, God, that's hard, right? It's because like
Oh, just
I,
coming with the
I
yeet.
I
With the
would say
weed.
this world. I would say if there was any world to get Serpent's Fang on Olaf, specifically this one, I think.
Like in this situation right now?
Yeah, because like if you hit everyone with an axe, it should theoretically like stop everybody's like shielding because like the new Serpent's Fang is really good at being an anti-shield item.
Mm.
And that's why it's kind of difficult for like the comp that company went with is like none of those champions like really are good at building like armor pin that much, and so that's why like I think like Hacksaw brought a good point. Like this is probably the game to build that on Olaf because normally you'd want to build tankier stuff, but at least you have the Seraphine and Nami, I guess, to like be pseudo with that. So maybe a like a Gore Drinker into Serpent's Fang would be the play. And so far, Kog'Maw definitely doing well at keeping up in the CS at the moment. Caitlyn is not really ahead, but she already got one turret plate, and looks like the second one should probably be on the way soon. And that's a lot of extra bonus gold to Caitlyn.
Whew. HO second. Quite a bit of damage there on the top side.
I think, yeah, Hexal, what you just said in chat is literally like exactly how I feel about it. I wanted to say it earlier, but I'm just like, man, it just feels like if you're playing Olaf, like, and you have Serpent Fang, you're gonna blow up. But then again, it's like, but does that matter? Because like, you still have a job to do.
Okay, Kago's getting put in some work here.
Oh no!
Oh!
Not.
Able to stop the recall there from Nami. And of course, in the mid lane, we have a very riveting matchup of Seraphine versus Lulu.
That's about how those kind of games are gonna go when it's Enchanters in the mid lane.
Yeah.
That kill pressure coming in hot.
All right, so you can actually get some points. I'll make sure someone points on the. Someone has to bet on the other side, so I got you, Cam. So you actually have some points to win. I'm not saying I choose a side here. Mid is a wash. Top is like meh. There you go, lots of points. About as always pushing, so all up doesn't work. Okay, we're gonna see the early dragon here from Comfy Gaming. Just pick it up real nice and easy. Oh, let's go and get those objectives though.
Sorry, it's like I had to message some of my friends being like, "So what do you think about the comps?" Like that's how interesting the Dakota comps are. Is that I actually have to ask people I know, like, "Hey, what you thinking?" It's just
Yeah,
it's just fun to watch in its own way.
it is for sure. They are definitely playing a more unique style than the rest of the league.
I don't mind it. I love unique style because, like I said,
Oh, I love it.
like Dakota is gonna like do some dirty things apparently to the BTL meta. Because like I always laugh that the BTL starts developing its own meta as weeks go on,
Mhm.
and like if Dakota keeps drafting like this, like some teams are just gonna randomly like pick up stuff. Like all of a sudden you're just gonna be like, oh yeah, like let's bring out the Yumi,
Yeah,
let's
let's
bring
let's
out
bring out the
Ivern.
Ivern. Yeah. The Syndra bot lane was also pretty fun. That was pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, the Syndra Senna was really
Yeah,
good.
Syndra sent a bot. Very interesting.
Kog'Maw doing a really good job on
Keeping the
staying
yeah.
relatively equal in farm.
Yeah, he
It's
is.
one of those things where I felt like he should get rolled, but like there's always the Yumi equalizer that can just keep him so topped off that
Right.
because like he can be eating some poke, but I also think that his micro movement has been really good too. So he's been like making sure to not really be hit by much CC and as much damage. But of course, like Caitlyn got 3 plates already at 8 minutes on her own, and that's pretty amazing without a jungle
Yeah.
gank. We might see a skirmish earlier on here in the Dragon. Both teams not really sure if they want to go in for this. It seems like Dakota is actually going to elect to just let them have it. But they do have a Daisy coming in here. They might just go over the wall right here and see if they can collect something afterwards. The only problem is they don't have their mid laner here. So big fat Seraphine ult is going to come off, and Ivern's not even a
Ooh.
champion at this point. And then there goes the
Ooh.
Aatrox as well.
The Seraphine ultimate here. Oh,
Yeah,
one axe. Two. Flashes.
flashes.
Three. Snare. Stun. Lulu ultimate. Lulu's dead.
Yeah. Comfy will take those. I think that when your comp is like protect the Kog'Maw or even like hyper carry with Aatrox later on,
Mhm.
I just don't see why that's a time to fight. I don't
Mhm.
really see a world where like Aatrox, Ivern, and Lulu, or like even just Aatrox, Ivern can out 2v2 like Olaf, Scion like this early, especially that Olaf had like a few early kills, so he had a good amount of damage items. I think especially because they came in late, and then since Ivern wasn't able to play towards his strengths of kiting, because you know what I mean, like he couldn't really throw an E on himself to like do a little kite back and like start walking around. He's in the pit, he had nowhere to go, so they just got like AOE womboed by the Scion, and Olaf just kind of bammed him down. I think like just trying to scale the best you could would have been the best bet. And like if I was Ivern, for example, I wouldn't necessarily be ganking bot lane, but I would just be like, I would come bot, I would sweep their ward, take their ward, and back it off. And like, just by doing that multiple times, it becomes harder to take plates. Because this does help Comfy, I think, like mitigate a bit of like I see where the draft would be difficult, because if they just pull away with enough of a gold lead and then start stacking dragons, it'll just make them be able to deal with the shield comp that otherwise they might not be able to once it starts getting to the mid late game.
Hmm. What is this putrefy item, by the way? I don't really know season 11 items.
Future Fire, it's
Yeah.
just basically the executioners for enchanters. Ooh, what a
Ooh,
Smurf
an
double bubble.
incredible bubble.
But the problem is
Oh,
she's gonna
oh my
Caitlyn's gonna end up
goodness!
dying from
But
that.
then the turnaround. Wait a second.
This is
Oh,
exactly what Dakota Mines needed, though.
and then meanwhile, gank in the top lane. Oh, he almost got out of there, but the Ivan auto.
This is absolutely tragic all of a sudden
Oh
for
my
Comfy.
goodness.
They were in such a good position, but then now all of a sudden it's not feeling that great. Kog'Maw gets a nice 2 kills. They slow down the turret plates going down, but I'm pretty sure next time Caitlyn and Nami end up in lane together, they should end up being a turret. If I was Comfy though, especially because people are resetting and people were top, if I was Olaf right now, I don't mind him pushing the wave, but I would just be booking it to Dragon. I would just be trying to take Dragon just as fast as possible and
Mhm.
make sure to get that Dragon stacking going, because I think that's going to be like the one solace they have in this game, especially because it's going to end up like it's either going to end up being a Mountain or a Cloud Drake, and I don't think you can give the Cloud Drake to a like Lulu, um, Yumi, all that kind of stuff. Like that's too much movement speed for that kind of thing, and it works really well with how their comp wants to function. So yeah, we're going to see a Cloud Cell coming in as well.
Mm.
And I think Dragon Stacking is definitely going to help them. First turret's going to go down 2. So Caitlyn's going to be at a nice spot in item. She's going to go ahead and grab her Executioners early and try to deny as much CS as possible. She's going to get a little bit too close to the Kog'Maw, though, and get kind of chunked. If I was her, I'd just push this wave, and then I would actually go top and then just try to break as many turrets as possible. I'm actually amazed that Seraphine has actually gotten a lot of damage off of that mid lane turret. I didn't. Did they? It was from the Herald earlier. Okay, so yeah, they got the Herald proc.
Oh yeah, that's
That
true. Yeah,
that's what
that's
happened.
true.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I was getting distracted by like the kills that were happening about that I completely ignored Herald existed.
So anyways, the gold. Someone asked for the gold. Caitlin's about 500 gold ahead of Kog'Maw. If that was the question from earlier. Even though being
Yeah.
down 2 kills is up, I mean decent amount. It's probably because of all the plating and the
Yeah.
tower. Yeah.
If they had managed to not die there and just gotten the 2 kills in the tower or whatever, then they would have been able to have a nice like 1100 gold on Caitlyn alone from that, which would have been pretty massive.
Hey, hope the tournament. Hey, donuts. Yeah, the tournament's going well. We got some interesting games here today. On our third one now. One more after this. Oh, because the match between Maria's Dungeon and Maximus Game will not be happening tonight.
So much more plating for Caitlyn as well. This is like an 80 carries dream though. Like you just love getting this plating. It just feels good to just sit there and just like wail and get she got what 8 plates alone pretty much this game. I don't think she's gonna manage to get the last little bit though, especially with the Yumi coming in. They could actually get a kill here if they aim it correctly. We're gonna see something happen. Lulu's actually gonna get completely caught out here. Flash just came up. And then Caitlyn as well getting caught out. The flash over the wall. She should end up being safe after dodging the root.
Hmm.
The only problem is this is kind of where like even Karma mid maybe instead of the Lulu might have been like the play just because she has a lot more lane control compared to Lulu. And a little bit more safety early on. But they're gonna actually catch out the Aatrox in the mid lane.
Whew.
The Olaf is gonna go in, almost kill the Yumi. She's literally got almost no HP.
Yeah.
And Dakota just need to find a way to slow this game down.
It would be more objectives for Comfy Gaming, which is exactly how Comfy Gaming needs to play this. They need to play objectively. They need to build on this lead because they want this game to end. They do not want to let South Dakota Mines skill into this game. They
Yeah,
do.
absolutely
They will
not.
have to deal with the monster that is that Kog'Maw, and he'll be very, very difficult to deal with considering the team comp around him.
And this is exactly how Comfy likes to play the game. It's just to like rotate to objectives, constantly rotate the turrets, do stuff like that. I honestly think that's where they look the best. I think sometimes when they get into skirmishes, that's where a little bit of their weaknesses is. They get a little overeager, at sometimes, and then like overcommit. But when it's constantly like an objective game, I do think that that's where their macro strength will usually lie, especially with how their coach views the game as well. So like when they're able to constantly just like rotate the Caitlyn around, take heralds, take dragons, and sit there and just constantly work on objective timers, I think it puts them in a calmer state of mind where they're going to make what I would consider are generally better plays. Um, but the thing is like Kog'Maw now has his Kraken Slayer, and it's just like it's all about like can Comfy close out this game.
Was Cho'Gath and Center banned? Yeah, Cho and Center were banned. Hell yes, it was. Says Cam. Let it be known, the person that was the team manager. I think he may also draft for them. Cam from Comfy Gaming does the stats. Has been doing stats for BTL, so he 1000% is aware of what happened last week. Comfy Gaming may be the team that is the most aware of last week's game, so not gonna let that happen again. I do draft slash stats, yeah. So yeah, Comfy's not gonna let that through. Yeah, I'm about to say no way 3 games, right? Like, sure they got it 2 games in a row, certainly not 3, right? Third time's the charm. Someone's gonna not let it through.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I that Comfy's always been pretty decent about is always like the game one drafts are always really good. Sometimes the adaptations can always be hit or miss, but that's true for any team. We watch that happen in LCS, LEC all the time.
Right.
But usually Comfy's drafts in game one of anything are actually usually really
Yeah,
smart.
they come
And
prepared.
that's why like this season will be like really good for them, and they should hopefully like manage to get like a pretty good standing. Ooh, but Kog'Maw might be a little bit caught out here. There's a lot of people coming in. That's a really good wave by Nami, forcing him to go back. He's going to try to flash. The Sion ult coming through. The Seraphine ult kind of going by. The Kog'Maw's still going to
Woo!
go
They
down. Nami.
tried. Oh, but Comfy came in. They tried, but they're like, nah. You're not getting away.
Man, Comfy's just really trying to definitely accelerating
Yeah,
this game.
End
This is
this
probably
game.
some of the best macro I've seen Comfy have.
Mhm.
And we're going to go ahead and see a sub 20-minute inhibitor going down. And actually, see, this is what I was going to talk about if they end up taking the inhibitor. They did the smart decision because taking a sub 20-minute inhibitor, especially against certain carries or certain people who want to get ahead, is actually kind of bad sometimes because then you sack a whole wave of constant experience in CS.
Right.
Because, like, if there's super minions coming in, the waves could never equalize each other.
Mhm.
And basically the super minions are also worth like more gold, so they could have just kept Kog'Maw like in the side lane the whole time while they just
Right.
group the other 4 and
Right.
then just try to stall Barons and try to stall the last Drake while Kog'Maw tries to accelerate himself.
Mhm.
But instead, they just take the free inhibitor turret, which will be good after a team fight. They can rotate and the game, grab the inhib whenever they want it.
Right.
They still get all the turret gold, stuff like that. And right now, Comfy's just kind of playing a pretty clean game, except for of course like the little snafu in the bot lane. But it happens when you're able to push that far all the time. You'll make a few mistakes close to the turret.
Right.
Oh, but we see them almost face check that bush, but it doesn't seem like that they're comfortable. This is the problem about kind of indexing too much into enchanters, is that like when things happen, you can't really skirmish and you can't really like fight back, and so you kind of just have to like submit and give everything. Even Aatrox is just gonna go ahead and give this inner turret out, and like if this keeps happening, Dakota's not even have any more turrets to defend.
Yeah, it's true. Eventually, they'll just lose the game.
There'll simply just not be any turrets left.
Yeah. And then the game does end.
But Comfy with a very sizable gold lead at this point.
True, 6K here, sub 20 minutes.
The one thing though is like Comfy really has to make sure that they're constantly playing a nice controlled pace, keep going at the pace they're at right now. It's really good. Try to get a few picks here, and it looks like they're going to be looking for this Lulu. She's definitely almost caught out here. We're going to see the Nami wave coming in from the back. It's just going to really knock them up. Seraphine ult's going to be fat, hits them, gets them a little down, but and they still managed to kill the Lulu without actually losing anything in the process. I think that they're definitely going to have to start having the Kog'Maw here. They can't lose a bunch of in-hit turrets. They're going to start going in. Kog'Maw is definitely free firing.
Kog'Maw gets one.
Kog'Maw gets two.
Kog'Maw gets two.
And this is where Comfy has to be really careful. If they start losing too much, almost all of their gold lead is in the turrets. If they equalize the turrets, then all of a sudden the gold lead will be equalized as well. It looks like Kog'Maw's going to get 3.
Kog'Maw gets 3.
Kog'Maw gets 4.
Kog'Maw gets 4. Oh, boyo.
And Kog'Maw might actually be able to get 5 if this lands, and it does not.
Oh, man.
But what makes it even worse is almost all of those kills Kog'Maw got were all shutdowns.
Oh, man.
Kog'Maw is now only 400 gold below Caitlyn.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Kog'Maw now the second most gold in the game after Caitlyn.
yeah, Kog'Maw didn't have a Renans that game, and we were still able to count the amount of kills he had.
Yeah.
Now he's able to hit all of them at the same time.
Yeah.
So let's see how this starts getting accelerated.
Oh boy, that's a that's a scary omen of what's to come. If we're just gonna be watching Kog'Maw just do that.
Yeah, and so at this point, if I was Dakota, just make sure to push out your lanes, contest the dragon, make sure that Kog'Maw is like way in the back, but more than anything, stay grouped, contest vision,
Right.
stay grouped. Your comp is designed to stay grouped. You cannot be picked here. Kog'Maw staying as safe as he can. And this is where they have to be careful. If I was them, they need to be pushing. They should have pushed out the bot wave and came in through river. They cannot go through choke points like this because Caitlyn just makes it way too difficult.
Yeah.
I would really like to see them go through river. They cannot force through this. If they keep staying just right here, all they're doing is conceding position. And like we're gonna see him start to get chunked here, or Caitlyn just gonna put a new trap. He's gonna try to stand on another one. I guess their goal is to just do it, and then
Kog'Maw
the
gets
will come through.
Oh, but will. Can Olaf do it? Kog'Maw gets real low. Oh, Kog'Maw is very low. Kog'Maw's too low. Oh, since
Yuumi with the save.
Oh my goodness, Kog'Maw has a lot of HP. So Kog'Maw suddenly big heal there, but they were able to get 2 people off of that. Kog'Maw lives, but the other people die, and that's gonna be another dragon. That's gonna be soul points, in fact, going over to Comfy Gaming.
Kog'Maw really going in aggressively there. Uses flash.
Yeah,
I definitely don't agree with that play.
Yeah.
Because basically Kog'Maw summoners are like more important than gold here.
That's true.
Another thing too that's kind of interesting is that Cloud Soul is great. Comfy is in still a very comfortable position.
Amazing, guys. I didn't even think about it. Oh, Olaf with Cloud Soul.
Yeah, he just ours gets to actually like make sure to reach Kog'Maw and everything. The only problem though is that if they lose a team fight at a certain point, and like Dakota gets into a better position to contest, like you do not want to have that Kog'Maw having an elder. You don't want to coin flip the game at elder. Like that's almost sometimes the scary thing about stacking souls really fast is that if you just happen to lose a fight. Yeah, if you just happen to lose a fight with the early elder, it becomes so difficult. And Sion's just gonna run it down straight mid. I don't really agree with this call at all. It gives Kog'Maw too much time. I'm guessing he just kind of wanted to group with the team, but it's a really important part of their engage.
It's just a Baron call. Kog'Maw is recalling. Kog'Maw will not be there. They're going to go straight onto the Baron. South Dakota Mines is aware.
Yeah, but man, they really
going to have to give it.
They conceded way too much positioning there. Like for example, like Ivern's not even looking about coming. I don't know if he's like waiting for an item. I suppose.
Yeah,
I'm guessing he's.
Yeah, they're gonna. The call is definitely to just give that one.
And I'm assuming it's just because they knew they didn't have the vision. Because right now, like Comfy's vision was absolutely disgusting all throughout the red quadrant of their base. Like it would have been so hard to step up. And Comfy's just trying to play the clean, controlled macro game. I think they've been a little bit jumping the gun a bit on ultimates, but overall their macro has been really clean this game.
Okay, well, I feel like the game plan is pretty simple from both sides. Objective and then like just kill the Kog'Maw, and then protect the Kog'Maw, and that's how the team fights kind of go. And then meanwhile, Comfy is rushing to end the game, get as many objectives as possible South Dakota Mines is rushing to try and stall the game out.
Yeah, Kog'Maw can't even like leave the base at this point. I'm happy he realizes that because it's definitely not worth it. Lulu kind of just sitting in the bot lane bush is kind of interesting. Um,
Yeah, they 1000% need Lulu in these fights. Lulu definitely needs to be there. We'll
and
be
this is
here.
I do like the bushes here in a way, but like with
Oh yeah.
Caitlyn, it's always kind of risky
Oh,
because
because
like
Caitlyn
you'll pretty
also likes the bushes.
yeah, and then not only that, but like it's just a little bit harder to visually see her traps in them. So
Hmm.
like you're just more potential to kind of make a mistake, but it also just makes it really hard for Comfy to like position like really aggressively because you're not exactly sure where everybody in the bush is,
Right.
and then all the bushes leave at the same time.
Yeah.
It looks like Comfy's starting to make the call to go through 1-3-1, try to get a few of try to get the inhib here.
Those
I
objectives
think
here.
that's a really good call because I don't think anyone can really answer Olaf besides Kog'Maw. If I was Dakota, I would actually be trying to engage right here. Jesus, that Caitlyn damage at this point in
Woo!
the game. Oh, Caitlyn grabbed the Serpent's Fang. Okay, that makes sense.
Woo!
Yeah, Comfy's just playing this game really well.
Yeah, some damage come out of Caitlyn there. And a very low Ivern. And
Looks like it's
that
going to be a
should
triple inhib as
be
well.
a lot of inhibitors going down.
And it
It
seems like
does
it
look like the
just
triple
Dakota
inhib.
gave too much early. It seemed.
Yeah. I think, yeah, giving the Baron here very rough.
Yeah, because when you consider that one fight earlier, how like close it was with like a
Mm.
what 7,000 gold lead. Now like imagine if they're just a little bit less behind.
Right. True.
Just seems
True.
like Comfy's gonna slowly choke them out. I'm wondering if we're actually gonna see the end of this game, just because I haven't seen it freeze yet.
Hmm.
Is yeah we are because that's no way that's not ended. Comfy just takes the game, nice,
Oh,
clean,
and there
slow,
it
and
is.
collected.
There it is.
That's
And that is just the game. We do
GG.
actually see the Nexus explode.
do we want to do
Okay.
it?